good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you may be. Do you hear that? I keep hearing cracking noises in the forest, and I think it's just the forest warming up, but it's kind of creepy. It's like that saying, if a tree falls in a forest, does anyone hear it? Well, I don't even know what that means. Anyways, so yeah, I wanted to talk to you today about my discovery of how I came to learn that I was an energy healer, I guess you could say. So my spiritual awakening first started, and I was going through quite a bit of releasing past traumas, understanding past traumas, and that was a really hard process for me. And I started meditating, and within meditation, I remember I would close my eyes and I would try to just tune out the voices or just shut down all of the thoughts, which are, was nearly impossible sometimes. And I would see like a glimmer of light. So I would do it in the dark, totally dark room, eyes closed, and I would like to cover my face with something just because I wanted it as dark as I could get it. And then I would see flashes of light in that closed vision dark room, and I would focus on that during my meditation, and I would try to expand that. I would try to bring it closer to me. And I don't know why, I was just kind of playing around and seeing what would happen. And I realized that that if I focused hard enough, I could expand that light, I guess you could say. And then one time when I was meditating, to expand upon that, I felt, because I had the blankets over my face, and so I felt it start to move. It felt like there was, the only way I can explain it, I guess, is when you see bubbling water, and if you take the bubbles and the movement of that, that's kind of what I felt on my crown and third eye area. And it felt like the blanket was moving. And sorry, I just heard another crack. And after I discovered the sensation, the seeing, the lights, seeing, and there was another time too that I was meditating, and I was working really hard at trying to release fear, trying to release that initial reaction of just kind of being scared of everything. And so another time during meditation, again, dark, eyes closed, covered, as dark as I could get it, I saw an eyeball looking back at me, just a floating eyeball in my closed vision, just boop, and it would come in and out of sight, and it would move around my vision. And I was like, oh, hello there, who are you? And again, trying not to be fearful of that. And that was really all I remember from that meditation, and that was very early on. So kind of fast forward to me wanting to explore it with friends, family, and just seeing. And so what I would do is I would say, hold out your hands. I would put my hands on top of theirs, and I would tell them to focus the same way that I was focusing, closing their eyes and just seeing what they could feel, seeing what they could sense. And that garnered some pretty interesting sensations. For example, my sister and I have always had a really strong connection, and so when I did that with her, she was visually able to see almost like a bridge connection. And so the funny thing with energy is that it goes where it needs to go. So her bridge, she saw it coming from me and going into her heart area, and she could feel the energy transfer, and I was kind of exploring with doing this with people and focusing on their face and what I could see. So I would do it while looking, open eyes, looking at their faces, and the face would kind of distort, and I could see almost like shadow. It was like shadow aspects within the face, and it looked like if you had taken a plate and then just, smashed it on the floor, and then you have a bunch of fractures and pieces. I could see that within the face. I could see that within the person, and they would kind of morph out of like the human form, and I would see a different version, or I would see more energetically, I guess you could say. And so that was really cool, and just I kept learning and progressing, and then it got to the point where I'm really summarizing this and fast forwarding a lot, and if you have any questions, please ask me. I'm more than happy to answer the best that I can. But to kind of fast forward a bit, I started to realize that I could feel lower vibrational energy within people, and that I could transmute that. And often enough after the sessions, the energy sessions, they would say, I feel so much lighter. I feel like I just feel so much relief after that. And that was really validating for me. And that was really, a big push for me to keep going and exploring this. And so, fast forward a bit more, and I always been curious about Reiki, but I didn't really know much about it. And I discovered that this is what I was doing essentially. And so I was like, okay, that's cool. So I started practicing more in terms of that kind of energy work. And then I decided that I wanted to expand this gift even further beyond friends and family. But before I even decided that I could, I practiced, and I wanted to make sure that I was not going to do anything that would hurt me energetically. I did not want to absorb anyone's lower vibrational energy. I did not want to take on anything that I wanted to know more about it. And I didn't want to, for the person that I was doing it with, I didn't want to bring any sort of negative impact on their life. And so I take the utmost care in making sure that I know what's happening and that I feel safe and secure. Anyways, I'm kind of babbling now, but I guess I'm just trying to say that before I expanded it outwards and started doing it for other people as a practice, it took a lot of courage for me to put myself out there and take that step, because it is very intimate in nature, and the person that he likes my story. Oh, they're talking. You hear that? So I lost my train of thought. But it took a lot of courage for me to expand this to others, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I love the experiences that I've had, and I've come to discover that every single person has a unique energy signature. It's so profoundly beautiful, and I can't even describe the joy that it brings me to enter into a session with somebody and just be present with that person, just to sit with them in their moment of need, when they come to me, when they want to release and just feel better. The fact that I can help to alleviate some of that for people is just, it's just so fulfilling, and I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for that. And it just makes my heart so happy. Anyways, so maybe me sharing this and being very vulnerable with anyone that watches this, I pray that, me explaining this maybe will help you to discover your hidden talents, because another thing that I've learned through this is that we all have innate abilities within us. We all have the capability to do this for ourselves and for others. And life is just beautiful. And I'm so happy to be here. And as scary as it is for me to put myself out there and, share my thoughts and my experiences with the world, I feel like, and there's so much of it. There's so many people talking about spirituality, and they all have their opinions. I have my opinions. I have my beliefs. We all do. And so I figure, there's enough of that out there already. Why does the world need me to do it? And then one day I discovered that we all have unique signatures, unique voices, uniqueness about us. And perhaps there are people in the world that resonate with what I'm saying. And perhaps people in the world want to hear it from me versus somebody else. And knowing that, even if it's just one person or however many, it doesn't matter. The point is that I'm willing to share, and I want to be vulnerable, and I want to open up, and I want to talk about my discovery in this, because through this and through this whole process, I have learned that there's so much more to this life. There's so much more to this world that it's easy to forget. It's easy to, go through life and do our day-to-day tasks again and again and again and again to the point of mundane, and really not hear or be aware of the subtleties of spirituality, because after all, we are all divine beings. We all have beautiful souls, and a lot of things in life will hurt us, will almost break us. I don't want to say break us, but almost affect us. And but the flip side to that is that there's so much more to discover, and that's what I am on the path of doing, is discovering all of the beauty that this world holds, all of the connection that I can find with like-minded people, the energetic connections that I can make and feel with people within each and every session. It's so special to me, and I'm really excited for what the future holds. As scary as the world might be right now, as uncertain as the world might be right now, I think that there's a lot to look forward to, and I think that there's a lot of good to focus on, and I'm really excited for that. And so yeah, I hope I didn't babble too much, but I wish you the best day, and love and light. Much love and light to you. Have a good day. Thank you.